lifted, swim
Everybody practiced. We didn't do anything contact-wise, but Patrick and Zaza practiced. Steph didn't, obviously. Everybody, meaning the guys who were questionable. And we'll see tomorrow how everything goes. But I'm going to be careful. Obviously, I'll always be careful with a concussion, Chris. Patient, but like Zaza, we brought him back and the shoulder was re-aggravated. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule, 2 games in the next week, so we got to be very careful. He could still play tomorrow if Chelsea says there's no problem at all, but if there's any problem, I won't play him.
So is McCaw technically out of concussion protocol right now?
I don't know. Raymond, is Patrick out of concussion protocol?
So Patrick went through practice today. It was the last step, but he has to be approved now by the doctors tomorrow pre-game. So if everything went okay today and he gets blessed tomorrow night at the game, he can
retweet it. Such bullshit. You think anybody's going to go, oh my God, Kerr got it out before I did? Will that happen?
Is it my draft? It does.
It depends. It does retweets.
You got it out?
I got it out.
Good.
How about Steph?
How many likes do you have so far on it?
Not enough.
You're getting carried away now.
Sorry.
How about Steph? Any updates with him?
He's doing fine, but no work on the court or anything. Just getting treatment, and seems to be doing well.
When you look at the schedule now, I think you said 2 games in the next week. Is it 2 games in 8 days or 9 days? What does that feel like to maybe have a calmer stretch right now?
It feels good. We haven't had real practice time in a while, so I think we're going to use this next week to really lock in on our details of our execution offensively and defensively. So we had a good practice today. It wasn't long, but it was sharp, and we need a lot of sharpness over the next week to clean up some things, but I like the position we're in.
Does a road trip like that promote a lot of bonding? Like, what does it do for a team and for guys?
More than anything, it just gives guys the chance to be with their families. And you're talking about being at home for a stretch?
No, a road trip like
that.
Oh,
the road trip.
Like, does it promote bonding?
Yeah, the road trip's nothing but bonding. That's all we do is hang out. So it's great to make it through. Obviously going 6-0, but to spend a lot of time together and make it through in the manner that we did, I feel like it's put us in a great position going forward.
Do you feel like in a way it's easier to be a little bit sharper, more focused when you're on the road?
No, I feel like it's easier. What being on the road does is it puts a little fear in you. So you tend to play with more urgency. So from that perspective, there's some sharpness that comes through. But that's more of a competitive thing. I think in terms of detail and execution-wise, it's better to be at home when you can actually have real practice time.
What do you want these practices to be like this week? Do you want that sort of intensity, almost harder than the game practices, or do you just keep it steady, kind of keep the level?
Again, attention to detail. We're not going to scrimmage, more than likely. Maybe we might a little bit later in the week, but might have one scrimmage day. So more than anything, it's attention to detail. With what we're trying to execute on the floor, and so our guys have to understand what we're trying to accomplish. So we got to get that across as coaches.
After what he's admitted wasn't necessarily the greatest start to the season, how have you felt about Draymond's intensity level the past few weeks? Have you felt like it's consistent?
Yeah, I think Draymond's season changed after about 5-6 games, maybe 7 games. We were in LA, we played the Clippers. From that point on, I think he's been much more under control and locked in. I thought the first 7 games he was a little scattered emotionally. I thought he was too emotional. I think the last 15 games or so, he's been great in terms of composing himself. But over this last road trip, to me, that's when he really sort of put it all together with the intensity defensively. And the composure. And to me, right now, he's exactly where he needs to be.
Was that game in Detroit his best game of the season in your opinion?
Defensively, for sure. He was brilliant. Offensively, he was very good. I mean, 13 assists and distributing the ball. But defensively, he was an absolute monster. And given what you have to do to guard Detroit, you have to blow up all the DHO stuff on the perimeter and then still protect the rim with Drummond diving. It's a really hard team to guard. Draymond's, that's what he does, and he was phenomenal. So was KD.
Did it almost remind you of that Memphis game last year where you had the triple-double without...
Yeah. That was similar. That was probably the best game I've ever seen him play, that game in Memphis. He wasn't perfect in Detroit. He had some interesting points where he either shot or he didn't shoot. And he knows that. He, took one that he shouldn't have, passed up two that he should have. So he was a little indecisive with his shot because he wasn't feeling it there. Besides that, he was perfect.
What do you do with the schedule now with all these days off? You plan to practice a lot, or are you still going to give him times completely off?
We haven't figured it out. Probably depends on how we look tomorrow. I would guess we'll either have Tuesday or Friday off, but we won't make that decision until after tomorrow night's game.
In a sense, do you have to worry about only playing 2 games in 9 days? Like, is there a chance that the guys lose?
Well, I can't have it both ways. I've been complaining about a lack of practice time, so now if I complain about losing our rhythm, then can't have it both ways. This is a good part of the schedule, and we should take advantage of it. And I'm not going to make any excuses beyond that.
Did you look at it any time, either at the start of the season or maybe more recently, saying once we get to mid-December, once we get past that long road trip, then it's going to be a chance to sort of reassess?
Yeah, we did that. Like, I think you look at the schedule every year, you think if we can get through this stretch in a good position, then we'll be in great shape. And it's definitely how we looked at this stretch that we've just been through. And but we have to take advantage of it now for it to mean anything.
What have you thought of the defense over the last 6 games or so? I know the defensive rate's been really good, but is it where you want to be, where you want it to be, or on the way to that?
The last 2 in particular have been brilliant. I didn't think we were horrible defensively against the Lakers. We weren't that good against Orlando, and nor were we very good against New Orleans. So I'm not going to say because we went 6-0 we were great on defense in all 6 games. I thought we were great for 3 games defensively: Miami, Charlotte, Detroit. It encourages me, though, that the last 2 games without Steph, that we played such good defense, because I think there's an awareness from our guys that we have no choice without Steph but to play great defense to give ourselves the best chance to win.
What does it say?
Well, you guys are leading the NBA in blocks right now, too. That's got to be more than just having a long team.
Yeah, it's both. It's an awareness of where and how to help, and it's having that length and athleticism that guys like JaVale and KD and Draymond bring. But a lot of other guys are getting blocks too. On the perimeter, you got Sean and Andre with their length and anticipation. David West gets a lot of blocks, even though he doesn't jump very high. But we have a smart, athletic defensive team, and it shows in the block shots category.
What does it say about Kevin to step out the way he's sort of taken over, not only offensively but defensively as well?
Says he's an MVP in this league and one of the best players in the world, and that he has an awareness of what's needed at what time. Last 2 games, it's been just amazing. I mean, and we kind of expected it because we take him for granted a little bit, but he has been absolutely brilliant.
You seem very optimistic with Steph's timing.
I do, or he does?
You do.
I do.
Is part of that, or what part of that is due to the logistics of the schedule? When we have 2 games for the next 9 days.
Well, I mean, we don't expect him back over the next 9 days anyways, but it's just nice that he's not missing a ton of games. If this had come at a stretch where we had 6 games in 9 days, obviously that would have been a blow. So it helps. I don't know when he's going to be back, but I know that it's nice that we're not playing that many games while he's going through this. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.